Hi everyone, welcome to KBT Movies. If your family loves food, adventure, and movies, you've come to the right place. Today, we've got a great adventure. We are going to go hiking up the lush rolling hills of Forest Lawn Memorial Park in search of the replica of the Statue of David. We're also still on our series of cookies, so we'll be using our sugar cookie dough to make a mini green marble statue of David. And then we'll be discussing one of my favorite movies of all time, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. But first, make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and if you love this video, you can buy me a coffee at www.buymeacoffee.com/kbtmovies. Okay, let's get baking. If you've got some cookie dough chilling in the fridge from last week, let's take that out. If you need to start from scratch, it is easy peasy to make this sugar cookie dough. Here's a little reminder. 1 stick of butter, 1 cup sugar, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon vanilla. We're gonna do 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons baking powder. I've already softened it. 1 cup of sugar. Mix that up. So I mixed together the butter and the sugar. We're gonna add 1 egg, 1 teaspoon vanilla, egg vanilla, with the strainer over the bowl, 2 cups of flour through the strainer, 2 teaspoons of baking powder through the strainer. Now we're just gonna stir the whole thing together. Refrigerate the dough for a couple hours, and now for the fun part. Here we go. Now that we've taken a small piece of our dough, we are going to let it sit out at room temperature so it's nice and easy to flatten. I am just gonna put the green food coloring, drop it right on here, and if I slowly sort of mush this dough together, it looks marbly. Our hands get a little messy, but it washes right off. Let's just squeeze it together. It just adds some green marbliness to our dough. That's pretty. All right, we're just gonna roll this out. The options are kind of endless when it comes to cookie dough. I even love it plain. Raw cookie dough never stops being good. Fun fact, the replica of the Statue of David in Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale seemed to fall on its own and shatter all over the ground in March of 2020. So the new one that we're gonna search for today on our adventure was just put up in November of 2021. It looks like green marble. So we're going to make a green marble sugar cookie in honor of the replica of the statue that's just been replaced. Of course, Michelangelo's David is an iconic statue. The incredible story in the Bible of David, who had a sling and some small stones. The underdog was able to take down the giant. With humility and bravery, anyone can make a difference. Take down the big old bad guy. So this is perfect. We don't need a piece any bigger than this. That is looking very marbly and cool. We're just gonna carve out a little David, knowing it's not gonna look anything like it. We're going to be as realistic as possible. Great, my best work yet. We're gonna put him on a cookie sheet and pop him in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 6 minutes. I think we really outdid ourselves this time. The actual Statue of David is 17 feet tall. Let's put some marble icing on him and give him a little sling, shall we? We're just gonna do powdered sugar and water. I think we've perfected our powdered sugar water ratio, just eyeballing it, as I like to do. Eyeball it. I don't recommend, I think measuring is probably a good idea. Now for some marble green icing. Down he goes. Brown sprinkles we're gonna use as the sling over his left shoulder. I'd say a pretty worthy replica of a replica of the Statue of David. Now let's go hike up those hills and find him. Here we are at Forest Lawn Memorial Park. It's a privately owned cemetery in Glendale, California. It's so lush, really impeccably well kept, and there's all kinds of things to see. Apparently Walt Disney, Michael Jackson, and Elizabeth Taylor are buried here. We're gonna hike up through this hilly, luscious park and try and find the replica of the David. It's really beautiful and peaceful. There's all these skeletons under the ground here. It's kind of strange. This is a gorgeous view. This park is 300 acres and it was established in 1906. Forest Lawn Mausoleum. This is sort of the peak you can see from miles and miles away on top of the hill. Oh wow, it's really pretty. The Builder's Creed. I believe in a happy eternal life. I believe those of us who are left behind should be glad in the certain belief that those gone before who believed in him have entered into that happier life. I believe most of all in a Christ that smiles and loves you and me. It was really pretty. You could feel that peaceful energy in there. This place is gorgeous. It is massive. I'm getting a workout. This is indeed an adventure. I haven't seen any signs for the statue of the David yet, so we'll have to keep looking. I think it's on the other side of the park. I always have a better experience when I'm walking. I suppose it takes longer, but sometimes that's what you gotta do. Just take a little longer. It's cloudy, but it's warm. That's like the perfect weather to me. Beautiful clouds in the sky and warm, so the sun isn't beating down on you. A lot of gardening, a lot to garden. This apparently is the Disneyland of graveyards. There are over 350,000 bodies and counting. We're getting closer to the David. I see a sign. Church of the Recessional, Hall of the Crucifixion Resurrection, Museum, Statue of David, Court of Freedom, and the Labyrinth. Oh my goodness, this place is endless. There's a labyrinth in here. We're gonna go left, I guess. Statue of David. This is a fantastic adventure. Wow, it's massive. This is worth it. Worth the hike. Worth the hike. The movie The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, I loved so much. So 2013, starring Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller also did direct it. Also starring Kristen Wiig, playing Ben Stiller's love interest. Ben Stiller plays Walter Mitty, who works for Life magazine, developing the photos. He's worked there forever. He's a very loyal employee. He loves the company. He believes in the magazine. He's incredibly good at his job. His job is very tedious. He went through a lot in his childhood. His father died when he was young. He's very introverted. His life is very monotonous and tedious. So he loses himself in daydreams throughout the day, and he plays the hero in all his dreams, where he's going out on big adventures, and he's brave, and he's saving the girl he loves, and then he snaps back to real life and someone's making fun of him because he's never speaking his mind or going out and being the person he wants to be. Sean Penn plays a photographer who travels all around the world and has this crazy, fun, adventurous life. And he really, really appreciates the work that Ben Stiller does in the lab. Sean Penn picks out the perfect photo for the last cover of Life. Ben Stiller inadvertently loses it. So he has to go on this crazy adventure around the world searching for Sean Penn's character, trying to track down this photo. I think this movie is incredibly inspiring. It was inspiring to me. I think a lot of the world tells us, get in line, work that 9-to-5 job in the corporate office, and this is how everything has to be laid out. Don't speak your mind, don't speak up, fall in line. Don't be too impulsive, you know, don't be too crazy. I think that's very threatening to people when someone is happy to go on an adventure, or be brave, or be protective, or stand up for someone weaker. It's really important these days. So the movie is about Ben Stiller on these epic adventures. Walter Mitty is going for it. He's seeing life in a new way. He's seeing life as an adventure. He's putting aside all the things, all the fears that stopped him in the past. And he's saying, no, I can be different. I can be brave, I can be strong, I can make a difference, I can do something that makes a difference. He finally tracks down Sean Penn's character, who's up in the Himalayas taking a picture of a snow leopard, and who reminds him, just sit and enjoy the adventure you've been on. You don't even necessarily need to prove yourself or chase this thing, you're enough. And he gets the photo, he comes back to New York. Walter Mitty not only learns to be brave, but he learns humility in his adventure. He comes back to Manhattan and gets to put the douchey boss in his place and reconnects with the girl he loves. I'm not really reviewing the movie as much as discussing the themes that we can all learn from and be inspired by in the movie. And that's what I love about The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.